Should be sad. Should be saying no.
Here. See. Here is the problem.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, try again. I will control.
If you think you are beaten,
Good evening. Welcome. Let's start first. If you have your cell phones on, please turn them to silent or vibrate. Secondly, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the building this evening. May you have a great day tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Any day. You're correct. Any day should be a good day for mothers. So, without further ado, let's begin. I will start with a reading from Happy Life. And we'll do our opening prayer and bring our speaker up for the evening. God knows your destiny and is in control of your life. You deserve whatever happens to you so that you may gain new ground along the evolutionary continuum. God is a merciful Father who watches over you. Never consider yourself overlooked, tumbling down the slippery slope of rebelliousness and blasphemy. Humans must practice courage and resignation, otherwise, they will stay spiritually immature. God does not play favorites. God loves everyone the same way. Let yourself be led by events you cannot change, while lovingly change those that will benefit you. Falling into despair? Never. All right. I'll let you guys think about that one without my comments. Heavenly Father, as we begin our meeting tonight, we thank you for this opportunity to meet. Guide our speaker's heart and mind. May their lesson tonight be true to our hearts. Continue to watch over us each and every day and shine your light upon our path. Watch over our families and friends, that they may see your light and walk towards it. And as we begin, we say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. So now I'd like to call upon our speaker tonight, Adriana, to talk to us about success. Welcome.
Good evening, guys. Welcome. I'm happy that you guys been successful making today. So today, as Tim said, we are talking about success. And this is a part one of two-part lecture. So today we're going to talk about success itself. What is success? How to recognize some different perspectives on how to think about success. And next time, probably next month or so, we're going to talk about how to create success, how to have a successful life. So let's start with, make sure I play this right.
If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but you think you can't. It is almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in this world we find success begins with a person's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the person who wins is the one who thinks he can.
Isn't it beautiful and powerful? Just the voice, his voice itself, bring us to really stop and think about that. And as always, the message that Tim read on the beginning ties to the lecture of the night, because we cannot think that we are special or God's gonna play favorite towards us. Neither is gonna play favorite towards another person. So we are going to go through whatever we need to so we can evolve. And a lot of success will be how we face the things we're going through. So one circumstance may be happening in our life that's something not so positive, but our outcome, our vision on that may make the whole scenario a successful experience. So this lecture, we are going to be studying one chapter from this book, Open Your Heart and Find Happiness. It's from Joanna de Angelis, the same book that we read here in the beginning, is psychographed by Divaldo de Franco. And throughout the whole book, each chapter, she goes through one scenario of things in life, things we go through, topics to think about. So, in that way, we open our heart and we find happiness having a different vision on those topics. So, on chapter 15, she says, only when the human being meets his own conscience and acts in harmony does he achieve the real victory. So, right away, she starts to give us a clue that we're going to talk about what real victory is. It's not just victory. So, when we talk about success, our dictionary, there are some definitions. One of them is the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. It's quite simple. Something can have success or not, depending on how it turns out. Now, when we talk about this kind of success, the thing that most people will have in mind will be somebody having powerful presence, will be surrounded by possessions, by material things, titles and beauty, and having an easy life. Everything is going perfect. It's like if you're watching a advertising for a travel agents, going beautiful places, exotic meals, and everything seems nice and perfect. But Joanna de Angeli come here and tell us that, yeah, that can be a picture of success, but if we take in consideration that everybody is a immortal spirit, it changes a little bit. When we think about that scenario, it doesn't sound like a real success. So she brings us a different definition of success from the Christian taught from the Christian sentiment. And she says, success means victory over oneself and over primitive passions. So when she's talking about over oneself, it's when we are recognizing our faults, our issues, our those little things that we try to hide and not and suppress and not let come out. Those are the things that we actually need to look into it. And instead of hiding and suppress, let's acknowledge that this is in fact one of my worst qualities, and what I'm going to do about that now. And over the primitive passions, those are the things that we are bringing along from reincarnation to reincarnation and keeps lingering and comes to a point that we have enough spiritual maturity that we can say, okay, now in this lifetime, I can deal with this. So every time that we're analyzing ourselves, changing, and that change is a day to day thing. Could be one day you do a tiny little bit better, next day try a little bit better again. That in itself, just the try in itself, it is success, because we are looking for the betterment of ourselves. So when she brings more light into different type of success, those are the things that she brings to us. There's one that's ephemeral and one that's everlasting. Ephemeral one will be material values in the physical world, in the earth here where we are living. Those are the things that we are achieving, that it may only last for a little bit, or maybe for this incarnation, for this lifetime, but that may not be something that will be everlasting. Those are the spiritual values. Those are the success that we have on our inner self. So examples that she brings of the material success will be that person that have triumphed in business, they have a successful professional life, have a good social position, live around applauses and honors. Now, one thing that she doesn't say, that this is all wrong. She never say this is bad thing to have. This is actually something that we should strive for. We should look for material success too. If you guys remember on the Spirit's book, on the third part, when we were talking about all the moral laws, one of the moral laws is the law of progress. So achieving material success is part of the progress. It's part of the universal law. So we should not think that, oh, we cannot have triumph in business. We should not be having a professional career because this is not of the spirit. No, those go hand in hand. Now, what she showed us that a person with the spiritual success, having the everlasting kind of success, how would that person look like? They'll be gentle and affable. They'll irradiate goodness. They'll conquer with love. It's the person that comes in and everybody's automatically attracted to it. You feel good just by being around the person. You know, the person goes through ups and downs in life, but they always have that even keel attitude. They always know how to handle all the situations, and seems like no matter how things could go bad for them, they find a way to still achieve success. So here's what Joanna de Angelis alerts us about: two dangers when we are only achieving material values. We're only looking for material success. Say the first one, when we don't acknowledge the emotional and behavior changes generated by peace, affective sensibility, and tenderness, even though we can show during an interchange with another person. So, what she means by that, we are so focused on material values that when we are put in a situation that we're finding expressions of love, of tenderness, of goodness, of all those good emotions, it doesn't even touch us anymore because we don't recognize that as something valuable, because there will be a spiritual kind of value. So that's the first warning that she gives us. Be careful when that kind of emotion is not touching you anymore. And the second one, she says, exaltation and glory attracts attention, cause envy and covetousness, comments and competition. So that means we are creating all those circumstances that we are searching for material value, material success. And we are putting all of our effort into that. A lot of people that may be around us are doing the same thing. And once they realize that you are achieving something that they are not, you're going to cause envy. You're going to cause all the bad emotions or all those essence that the person may try to hide, will bring that to show how those relationships may be. So in that warning, she's like, be careful, because you may achieve something that will bring you envy, will bring you jealousy, and you may not be strong enough, morally strong enough to deal with that kind of situation, with that impact. And then she keeps on throughout the chapter. She compares those two types of success. She says that the individual who experiences inner success, he becomes gentle and affable, irradiates goodness, and conquer those who approach him without any extravagance. So it's a person that's nice and even. It doesn't need to be loud, to be showing off, to have material things around, to have jewelry or the better car. Somebody that it's automatic, just out of the vibrations that they are putting out, they are conquering everybody. And on the other hand, but when the triumph is external, it becomes turbulent, imposing concern to maintain the status, to attract attention and reflect fame. So since those kind of triumph is not the everlasting kind, they are very ephemeral, they are only going to last so long. So that make us tend to look more and try again and try to be better, and next they try to achieve more, and we become turbulent, we become the rushness that it's never enough, it's never good enough, and we have to always do better. So she keeps on. Oops. Okay. Now she tells us how the state of mind of each of those different types will look like. The state of mind for a person in those types. Wholeness dominates those who have achieved their own domain and work for the inner growth without any rush or disturbance. So when we achieve the wholeness, we're working on our inner success, our inner growth. There's the easiness about it. Everything, it, it's palpable, the strength that we feel during the process. Now, the other one will be, he who enjoys the external projection will suffer from solitude, emptiness, and boredom. Because once they achieve one thing, very fast, it just fizzles away. So then we have to go, okay, there's emptiness again, I'm bored again, so now I gotta go and look for something bigger and better. So there's always the sense that they're swimming against the tide, they're always like competing against themselves. And then she tells us that the choices that each one will make, how would that be looking? What would be the result of them? So in order to reach material success, so the material kind, and experience it, morbid disappointments emerge, absurd wars are declared, cruel hatred is proposed on the path to glory. When the person reaches the top, then unjustifiable fear and scandals are used to preserve the position conquer. So when internally we know that's so ephemeral that we need to preserve what's there. So we are always fighting against, we are always looking to to preserve what we have done so far. Now, success over oneself strengthens harmony and increases the joy of living, leading the person to dedicate himself to the task undertaken and contributing in favor of a more balanced and happier social group. So, see the difference here? We're talking about we have to preserve, we have to conquer, we have to keep fighting and fighting. And here, not only we are being able to enjoy all the goodness coming out of that, it's not only for ourselves. We are making a whole social group happier because we are bringing that out. Even if we're not looking for, just by living that, we are emanating all the happiness. Now, here she says the conventional person of success is not necessarily a happy person. It could be a happy person as long as they are balancing both types of success. This picture here, I don't know if you guys can read the whole thing. It says, happiness is only real when shared. And that's a quote by Chris McCandless. Are you guys familiar with the book and later the movie Into the Wild? It's one of my favorite movies ever. My husband's already, oh my God, she's gonna talk about the movie again. But it is an amazing movie. So for the ones not familiar with, I believe I believe he was about 24, so he's finishing college and he's looking at the society that he's living then, and that's back in the 70s. So he's looking around and he say, is that what I'm working for? Is that what I'm looking for? All this business and running and trying to achieve all those things that then we became enslaved of them. And he started to question and he decided that, you know what, I wanna find happiness, a real inner happiness. I'm gonna go look for it. So he gives away all the savings that he had and he embarks into a journey to Alaska. And in the process, in that journey, he meets several people, he goes through several experiences. And as he's already in Alaska and he's looking at this natural beauty and everything that he experienced so far, he realized that this is the happiness that I was looking for. However, he cannot internalize, he cannot really feel because he did all that alone. So that's when he comes with the quote, happiness is only real when it's shared. So, bringing back to our subject, if we are living a life of material success, most likely we're only sharing with the ones very close to us. And if you imagine in a couple that goes through divorce, sometimes becomes a war of who gets to keep what in the relationship. So even with our close family and friends, we're not sharing that much. But if we're looking for the inner happiness, the inner success, we want it to share that. We want everybody to be part of, because it's not something that we can just contain on our own. And I'll stop talk about Into the Wild now, okay? And we'll watch this weekend just so I can make my point. All right. Now, the success that produces everlasting results. Joanna D'Angeli brings us few cases here, and she makes a little comparison. So the first one, we're going to start with the negative ones, so we can leave on a happy note. So first, she talk about Julius Caesar, conqueror of the world, entering Rome on a golden chariot to the applause of multitudes. That did not exempt him from being stabbed by Brutus on the stairs of the Senate. Now, we can all agree that Julius Caesar was one of the most uh, worldly achieved empire, and he was a person of success in the worldly eyes. Now, the success of Nero, his conquests and villainy did not avoid the infamous death to which he gave himself in desperation. So he did commit suicide because he was already condemned to be killed. So he was condemned to death because of all the wrongdoings on his life. And on top of that, he went on and he added suicide to the list. The success of Hitler in cruel battles over Europe and Africa did not change his moral cowardice, which led him to a shameful suicide. But then, the success of Gandhi, however, encouraged him to face death, speaking the name of God. The success of Pasteur helped him to accept tuberculosis with serenity. And thanks to him, today we're able to get vaccines. He was one of the first ones that understand the vaccine was something that was possible. But once he contracted tuberculosis, he did not give up. He didn't thought that all my work towards health and now I'm the one suffering. No, he just understood this is part of life. This is part of something I'll go for my growth, and he accepted with serenity. And then she grouped in here the success of martyrs and saints, of scientists and thinkers, of artists and citizens who practice love, gave them the resistance to bear the affronts and cruelties with a spirit of selflessness, courage, and faith. So it's quite easy to see what this group thought of success was and what this group understands of success. So she closes the part saying, all those who live in the physical form, passing through the brief terrestrial school, leave the material vehicle, that means our physical body, one day, but they take within the soul's reservoir the treasures earned by their success. So that's what we mean. That's not the ephemeral part, it's the everlasting. Doesn't matter how many incarnations you have after here, whatever you conquer on your inner growth, you're always gonna carry that with you. And then she finished the chapter with 3 very powerful advices for us. First, she say, evaluate by yourself what is the most valuable success, the one that really deserves your total dedication. So, by yourself, do not go ask your mom, your spouse, any book. Do not go call the psychic. By yourself, think about what does it mean. For you, it may mean a type of material success. How many scientists are going through academic life and achieving success, but that doesn't mean that they're not working also in conjunction with their inner success. So think about for yourself what do it mean to me? How do you see yourself as being a successful person? And then without distancing yourself from the real world or abandoning social contact, search for success, any kind of success. So the correct form of life, the values which maintain home and family, most likely will be a material value. The brightness of intelligence, academic life, art, and love, search for it. And you discover that by doing so, you have the time and the reason for the other type of success, the one of inner nature. So get your life in order, do the things that you have to do as a human being, as a spirit that's incarnated. That means you are in the flesh to go through this experience. So have the experience, look for that. But then by doing so, you free yourself, you have time, you have a reason to look for what makes you happy, what makes you grow, what makes you a successful person on your own view. And never allow yourself to doubt the divine help. It's like Tim said on the beginning from Happy Life. God does not play favorite. He's a merciful Father. He'll give you all the circumstances that you need to grow, but we'll be there with you, even on the painful ones. Nevertheless, relax and elevate your spirit through prayer, avoiding complaints and acting with serenity, as all achievements are result of effort and work well done. So one more video for you guys.
To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded.
Sounds quite simple when he says like that, right? Whoops, let me go back. Ah, it's gonna play again. All right then. Before we get there, let me go back here then. So, success. It's not a tally of the things that we're accumulating in this life. It is an account of how we live, what we are doing while we're here, how are we conducting our lives. There is really no promise. Nobody says that a good life means an easy life. You guys familiar with the term growing pains? That's actually a medical term because the body does feel pain when it's growing. The same goes with our spirit. Sometimes it's through the pain that we expand, that we grow, that we mature. So, no promise that good life is easy life. It does take courage, but this is what we are here for. We're going to go through whatever experience we need, and we cannot compare what somebody else is living as successful life. We don't know their story. We barely may know part of this incarnation, but we have no idea what their past is. So let's not compare us with anybody. We have to compare us to us yesterday and to us the day before. And if we focus on that, we can work on our inner growth. We can put a little bit better each day. But we do have a safe place where we can gather strength, we can find solace, and we can follow somebody's steps. They've done through all that already, and it's more than proven that he was successful. And Joanna finished saying, Jesus was the conqueror of real success, prevailing until today as the symbol and model of victory over himself, asking us to do as he did. So if Jesus Christ, was able to, he was still trying to achieve victory over himself. Imagine how much field we have to work on ourselves. I guarantee he had nothing of the faults that we have. So we have a lot to work on. So even if we pick one thing at a time, we have a lot to work and we can for sure succeed. Thank you so much, guys. Next time we're going to talk about how to live a life, how to create a life with success. Yeah, it was the hard place between, if I put two together, it will be way too long and everybody will be